Hello students, in the last session we studied about who discovered cell and how. It was Robert Hooke who discovered cell in 1665 by observing a cork tissue under a microscope. He named this as cell. But Robert Hooke did not see anything inside the cell. He was unable to see anything inside the cell because his microscope was not having that magnification. Hence, he considered that these cells are just the cell walls of the plant cell and they are seem to be dead. But later on, there were many discoveries by different scientists. It was said that Leeuwenhoek was the first scientist who saw that there is something moving inside the cell. There is motility inside the cell. Hence, Leeuwenhoek was the first scientist who discovered free living cells in water. Next, it was Schilden and Schwann. Schilden was a botanist. Botanist basically who studies about plant. So Schilden studied about different plant tissues under the microscope and he saw that all plant tissues are made up of cell. Even Schwann studied different animal tissues and he also concluded that every animal tissue is also made up of cell. So this led to a theory that is known as cell theory, which states that all living things are made up of cell. Okay, the first point of cell theory states that all living beings are made up of cells. Cell is the basic unit of life. And then Schilden and Schwann were confused. Yes, if each and every living organism is made up of cell, from where is this cell coming from? So then there was a scientist named Virchow in 1885 discovered that all the cells arise from pre-existing cell. There is one existing cell which divides and new cells are formed. Again it divides and new cells are formed. So every cell comes from a pre-existing cell. This contribution by Schilden, Schwann and Virchow led to a very important cell theory which states that all living things are made up of cell. That is the first point. All living things are made up of cell. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. And lastly, all cells arise from a pre-existing cell. This is the third point. Okay, so very important. Who discovered cell theory? Cell theory was discovered by Schilden and Schwann and Virchow. And what are the points? These 3 points are very important. A very common question being asked in exam. Mention what points were included in cell theory and who discovered cell theory. So, it was Schilden, Schwann and Virchow. In addition to this, there was a scientist named Robert Brown. Robert Brown discovered the nucleus in the cell. Now, what is it nucleus? Like we have brain in our body. Without brain, we will not be able to perform our functions very effectively. In the same way, every cell has its own brain. Okay, every cell in our body has its own brain, without which it is very difficult for the cell to function. So nucleus is said to be the brain of the cell. Okay, please remember we'll study about nucleus in detail in later sessions. For time being, remember nucleus is said to be the brain of the cell. Who discovered nucleus? It was Robert Hooke. And finally, there was a scientist named Purkinje who discovered protoplasm. So inside the cell, you have some liquid substance also. This liquid substance is said to be protoplasm. And this protoplasm was discovered by Purkinje. So you have to remember the contributions by different scientists after Robert Hooke discovered cell, and he said that since he could not find anything inside the cell, he said that the cells are not living, it is dead. And then different scientists came into picture who gave their own points. The first scientist was Leeuwenhoek, who discovered free living cells in water. Second was Robert Brown, who discovered nucleus. Then there was Perkin's, who discovered protoplasm. And a very important concept, that is cell theory, was discovered by Sheldon, Shawn and Virchow. And the points are very important. Okay, moving to the next point. Do all the cells in our body have same function, or they have same shape? Okay, it is said that every cell has different shape, different size. Okay, so not all living organisms have same type of cell. They have different types of cell. Some organisms are made up of only one cell. You talk about bacteria, you talk about virus, they are only made up of one single cell. You can imagine, and we are made up of millions and billions of cells. But bacteria is made up of one single cell. The coronavirus is made up of one single cell. And you can imagine, this one single cell has stopped the entire world. Every cell has its own importance. Yes, all cells are not equal. Some organisms are made up of single cells, some are made up of many cells. If an organism is made up of only one cell, it is said to be unicellular organisms. Please take a point of this. It is made up of unicellular organisms. You have amoeba, paramecium are the examples. You can write bacteria, you can write virus. N number of examples are there, and the organisms are made up of many cells. They are said to be multicellular organisms. A tree and elephant are also made up of millions and billions of cells. Now when you talk about shape of the cell, number, yes, it is different in different organism. Do the shape is same in same organism? Not even in our body, all the cells are same. We have different types of cells. In kidney, you have different types of cells. In heart, different types of cells in your skin. So every cell has a specific shape. So when you talk about the shape, there are said that some cells keep changing their shape. They do not have a definite shape. They keep changing. Like imagine I am circle today, tomorrow I will be oval. Oh, what kind of cell I am? What kind of organism I am? I'm amoeba. I can take any shape I want. Okay, so some cells keep changing their shape. Example, amoeba and white blood cells. You might have heard people saying my WBCs are high, my WBCs are low. So what is this WBC? It is a white blood cell. It can take any shape it wants. Whereas rest of the cells in our body have a definite shape. Only there are two cells which keep on changing their shape, that is amoeba and white blood cell. Rest of the cells have a definite shape. Either it will be spherical, round, elongated, spindle, etc., branched, unbranched, etc. So this is your red blood cell in your blood. This is amoeba. This is your muscle cells. In your muscles, you have such elongated spindle-shaped cell. Spindle means pointed at the ends and swollen in the center. Okay, then this is again your plant tissue, xylem and phloem. This is your nerve cell, very important, nerve cell. We will study the structure in detail about nerve cell in the coming sessions. Okay, so for this session, cells differ in numbers in every organism. Either an organism can have only one cell or it can have many cells. If it is having one cell, it is said to be unicellular. If it is having many cells, it's said to be multicellular. And shape also differs. Some cells have a definite shape throughout their lifetime, whereas some cells keep on changing their shape throughout their lifetime. Example, amoeba and white blood cells. If you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. Please do subscribe my channel and click on the like button. Thank you so much.